We are about to start. This is Robot Nuke. Now let's hear it for the man, the myth and the legend in his own head, Eric Nuke Hudson.
Okay, welcome to Sunday Night Fights. Sunday Night Football. It's time for football. So those of you who are coming in the replay, just if you have any questions, comment below. This is a little bit of time to chill out, get myself my Bloody Mary with spicy V8. Yeah, we're going to start this off and try to get you out of here as soon as possible. Let's go ahead and share my screen. So it's not going to, I don't expect too much to have happened over the last 24 hours purely because it's Sunday. And a lot of these are just being entered into the system because, they took the listing yesterday or something, more than likely not today. So not too excited about going over these, or at least, I'm just going to go over them real quick. So new listings 52, back on market 11, price decreases 22, increases 4, under contract show 25, no show 42, sold 14. So those probably actually really, they didn't sell in the last 24 hours. This happened Friday or Thursday or something, and you have 2 days to put these in. Expires could have happened. Temporarily off markets 1, conditional drawings 4, coming soons are 14. That is quite a bit. Contingent on sales is 2. Let's kind of see what we got for coming soons. Where are they at? So pretty much all over the valley here. And the highest price for the coming soons is 1.1 million. The lowest is 330, and it's actually a house, but it says Nye Street, so something tells me, just something tells me it is not here in Las Vegas, and I would be wrong. It's here in Las Vegas. Let's see if the agents put some pictures in real quick. That is, wow, this is not bad. I mean, only exterior, but 330 for a single family house. Kind of small, 1,135 square feet, 3-bedroom, 2-bath. What? Wait a minute. That's not a 1-car garage. I'm pretty sure they're going to clean some stuff up later. 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1-car garage. And that's obviously a 2-car garage. Okay. So we will hopefully be seeing that soon. So 330 was coming out. Let's see, just on the new listings. Let's see, 150,000 for a manufactured house. I don't know if that's in Vegas or not. 2.4 million for a single family. So the cheapest single family is, let's see where it's at. That looks like Vegas too. Wow, wow, wow. 256,000. I got to take a look at that. That's a 1-car garage. Okay. Needs a little bit of what they call TLC. So maybe they'll get a little TLC and get a little something for it. So this next one here, I'll make it a little bit bigger as far as my agenda. I have a very slight one, not too much of an agenda, not a politician. Let's take a look, because I was just thinking about this, because we ended the first quarter. The numbers still have not come out from the board yet. So I'm still waiting on those. Maybe they'll come out tomorrow and I can do my big update for the month. And, of course, Wednesday, I kind of like think it through and everything. But I was looking at this, and this goes back. And I'm looking at prices. So right now, we already looked at that. It's 470 for last month. And I'm not sure if they do these for the end of the year or the average of the year or something, but look at this. From 2004 through 2023, not including what we got going on right now with these price increases just in the first quarter, you have more than doubled your money. It's almost 2.5 if you take into account now. And I have these issues with these negative Nancy's. You should be a negative Nancy when it's time to be a negative Nancy, not a negative Nancy every single day. And I just bring that up because I talked about it before. I have a YouTube coach, and he was telling me something about, follow these guys. And it's like, they're not realtors. They do real estate, and a lot of them are investors. And it's been pretty much proven that a lot of these guys who are making all these negative videos work for investors, and they're just trying to keep the prices down. They want the prices to crash. So they try to convince you of these things. And yet people who are going like, hey, I don't have a house. Okay, yeah, it's going to crash. So I'm just going to wait for it to crash. My entire time in real estate, now I went full time, let's call it January of 2016. Before that, I was part time because I was on active duty. When prices were about here, all I heard were prices are crashing next week because it's unsustainable at 235. Interest rates back then were about 3.25%. Can you imagine the person who had a $235,000 house if they were to try to just what you got for 235? And I can remember back seeing families, working with families, and they're going like, oh, the prices are just too high. I need you to try to negotiate it down to 200,000. And some of these people never bought houses, and I feel really sad for them because they just lost so much that they could have had by buying a house. And sometimes it's listening to the negative Nancy's who aren't looking at numbers. Just look at numbers here. We all knew the housing prices were not going to crash back here, right? Look, 2014, which is not the bottom of the market. 2012 for Las Vegas was the bottom of the market. We had 7,700 homes on the market. Look at what we have now. We've gone from 77 homes on the market to 3,700 homes. Here's the thing. When the prices crashed back in 2007, 2008, you know how many homes were on the market in Las Vegas? Unfortunately, they don't go back this far. They only go back 10 years. It was 22,000 single-family homes were on the market. Do you know our population was 500,000 less back then? So this isn't just about trying to sell your home or something. This is about telling you what's going on. So I don't know. The guy's going, it's insane. The prices are about all this stuff. And the guy on the wall and shaking his head, talking about, because tomorrow the houses are going to crash. Since I've been looking at that dude, even with that price, decline, I'm going to go, I think he started about here. He's gone from 304. We've gone from 345,000 to 450,000, really 470 right now. Can you imagine how much money that person cost people and families? And interest rates back here were 3%. Sickening. Really is. It's sickening. Units available. Let's just look what we got here. So average price of a condo, it's not as good. So condos and townhomes, can't lie. I don't know. I guess there was a depression here because, median. Sorry, got to go by median. The reason you don't go by median instead of average, I've explained a lot of times, is because you don't know what outliers are out there. Like if a bunch of multi-million-dollar condos sell, because we have multi-million-dollar condos here. The highest I've seen has been 15 million. If they sell that year, it drives that average up, because that's when you take all of the numbers and then divide by, add them up and divide by that number. But, so the most accurate measure is the median, which is the middle number. At least that's what they tell me. But I look at this, the median price, we're at, I believe, 280, 290 was what I had on Wednesday. Again, I should write these down. Um, you've damn near tripled your money if you had a condo or townhouse. Tripled your money. No, you need to not buy a house. It's going to crash tomorrow. Beginning of COVID to here, almost $100,000 in growth, profits you lost. I mean, and I've also seen people where, I mean, I sold them houses like or condos back here, and before the market switched up, they're contacting me. It's like, hey, I'm thinking about selling. And then you tell them what the condo is worth, and they're like, oh, that's not enough. I've only doubled my money. And that just put something in my head right now. I remember when I was stationed out at Hickam, there was a guy in my squadron. As a matter of fact, he ended up coming back here and becoming squadron commander of the 15 squadron. Oh man, I'm telling too much. Of the 15 squadron out at Nellis. And I was asking him one day, I was like, well, you came here from Nellis, and I heard you still had a house there. And this is while, prices were going down. And he was like, yeah, I'm upside down in my home loan and everything. But, I wouldn't sell when I PCS'd here. And I'm like, why didn't you sell? And he's like, well, I'd lived in the house for like a year. And when I got my orders, and I was only up $100,000. So I'm like, yeah, everybody else in my squadron had made 250. So I was holding out to get 250 also. So it goes both ways. It's kind of like when I was still on active duty. I'll use call signs for now. So had this guy, and was looking to sell his house, and I gave him the numbers of what it was worth, and all he could mention was another guy in the squadron, Pigpen, because Pigpen he bought in Providence, and he bought, at the bottom of the market. He was walking away with something like $180,000, and this guy was going to walk away with like 60,000. No, wait a minute, hold on. Yeah, 60,000. And it was like, well, I need what Pigpen got. And I'm like, dude, Pigpen bought it at a different time. He bought here, and it's going up to here. You bought here, even though Pigpen bought later, and it went to here. That's why Pigpen, all he just keep saying was, but I want the money Pigpen's getting. I'm telling you, it's whatever the market is. So he listened to some idiot realtor who said that she had a special system. And she worked for, I'm not gonna say the brokerage, and they're nationwide, and they got a special system. She can get the money for him. Anyway, it took him 10 months to sell his house, and he got less money than I told him he could get. And that's because it took 10 months and he was believing the BS she was spouting out. That's why I'm telling you, if 5 realtors come to your house and you're a seller and they go, I can get you this amount for a house, for your house. I'm sorry, and 2 of them say they can get you X amount, and then one says they can get you lower, and 2 get you higher. They got some special system. Yeah, their special system is getting your listing and changing the price later. Because I just ran across something where the individual, they listed too high. I guess relatively too high. And they came, it was on the market for a few months, and then they lowered the price. Then you got somebody going like, well, the price is so low. Why is it low? It's because they screwed up. They effed around and they found out. It works both ways. You cannot overprice a house no matter how the market is. I've talked about the dollhouse before. It was, to this date, the most perfect house I'd ever seen. The owners were Imagineers, whatever you want to call them, down on the strip. This house was so perfect. It was just outstripped the neighborhood. It looked like you went in, it was a regular neighborhood. I'm not saying a poor neighborhood, just regular everyday neighborhood. But you went in there, it's like you had stepped into a mansion or something. Everything was so over the top. And people want that over. No, they put that over the top in there, and then they want their money back. You don't get your money back. Kind of like we did that little exercise yesterday, which I failed at of what improvements get you the most money. People aren't going to pay for your over the topness. You as a buyer, when you go in, you go like, oh wow, it's over the top. How much you think they'll take? And you don't mean anything but how less than the list price, because that's what everyone is doing. You got these two factors. You got sellers who want to sell their house in general, and they want the most money possible with putting in the least amount of work. And you got buyers who want to buy for the least amount of money possible, and they want a perfect house somehow. So the two kind of don't meet, except they end up meeting in the middle when this person lowers their price, gets some things fixed, and this person realizes they ain't getting a brand new house and they're not getting it for 20% off. So that's where we are right now. Anybody have any questions, go ahead and leave them. Let's see here. I'm going to go into what I was planning to do for the neighborhoods tonight. I kind of got this in the order. We're going to be doing stuff so I can make it quick. Just trying to finish. I don't know if this is going to be the last of the week of doing this. If it's not down there, I'm going to have make sure my assistant has it in down there for those of you who are looking at the replay, and I'm going to put it here in the comments right now so you can see it. Want to just go to it and follow along or whatever, because I mean it's a good thing he's working on. I really want to help this dude out. So I thought of something today. You know, because people will go, well, don't want a home that's over a certain amount as far as how old it is. And I think I can do this, and I want to find out if I can. Let's go in here, and we're gonna like just target Henderson. Okay. And we're going to look for near shopping centers, pet friendly. That's it. Nothing is walking distance here. And we'll go in and we'll go like, looking for the newer homes under 10 years old. And let's see what happens. So she's running. I'm going to take a sip of my Bloody Mary. Okay, Inspirata. Brand new, started a few years ago. So they're all within the last 10 years. Same thing for Cadence. It gave out some good numbers. Let's look at Inspirata and Cadence. You know, just to complete this, we'll start with Inspirata. They're still building out there. They're getting close to closing that out, and they still have a whole bunch of stuff out there for new homes. Same for Cadence, but let's start with Inspirata because that's what I just said. And let's just look at the actives. There are 41 of them. So you know where it's at. It's down in Henderson, not too far from the Raiders practice facility. And there we go. I don't know if I've mentioned this before, but my cousin played for the Raiders. And it was so cool when he got to come here because he came here from San Francisco. But he's been traded away and looks like he may be retiring soon because he keeps being on the injured list. And if you want to know who he is, just look at my name, and that's his name. Last name, at least. We have different first names. Okay, so 1.3 is the most expensive thing they have going right now. $392 for a townhome. Let's just go real quick, and that looks like it is brand new. So you can get into this for $392, and because they have it on the MLS, that is the price. I'm going to have this for just a second, even though this is a builder, definitely. So, yep, it's under construction right now, $392. Let's see here, 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath, 1,545 square feet. And let's see what the HOA is, 160 a month. And it has SIDS and LIDs of 2736 with your annual SID being 270. They're taking cash, conventional, FHA, and VA. And the taxes are 3,900. Now, for those you don't know, when it comes to the taxes, the newer it is, the more taxes you're going to have, and that's what you have in here. Oh, let's see. Come July and after. Hold on, let me answer your question here. Come July and after, let's say you have a listing and someone comes to you with a great offer and it's not working with an agent, doesn't have plans to, how would you handle it? So I'd have to know if you're talking. So to be honest, I would stick with the agent and figure out what's going on, have a talk with them. I mean, you're under contract. If you're really having an issue with an agent, just talk to their broker. Uh, so I don't know if what you mean by doesn't have plans to, if you're talking about continuing or something like that. Be very careful of agents around here. Uh, so I don't know if you're, I think, I don't know if you're in Vegas or not. A lot of these folks will say whatever they have to say. I had this one, and I'm just going to try to mention as briefly as possible. The person reached out to me for their father, and they were still under contract. And I actually just went, I mean, true to God, I said, "Hey, you need to stick with your agent because first of all, you overpriced it, and that was the reason that that it hasn't been selling." But for some odd reason, they still had the agent over and fired them, even though I said, don't fire the agent. So they call me up. I go out there and I take the listing. And then an agent who I guess was competing for the listing or whatever, or just found out because people are strange in real estate. It was like, I mean, they just tried everything to get the listing canceled so they could have it. I had it happen another time, and it was really, and this is why I did that video about a lot of your friends in real estate ain't helping you out. It was because in that case, I took the listing. His friend found out he had listed his house and I guess was upset because this guy probably forgot that he was in real estate. And he just started doing these strange things. I mean, he would like give him these super bad advice and everything. And like every time I would tell this guy, like let's say you had this is a great one. We had somebody who wanted to come see the house. So it was one of those where, you kind of had to like not make sure they weren't there. And I told them the seller was going to be there. They arrived and it's like, we've been knocking and no one's coming to the door. So I call this guy up and he goes, well, yeah, those people I've been telling you about are coming over to see the house. And it's like, okay, let me take care of it. I was like, okay, go back to my work. About 10 minutes later, dude calls me up. It's like, what in the world is going on? I'm like, what do you mean? Guy came downstairs, opened the door, and said, go away and come back another time. And then, it's like, he would do this stuff. Then we took it off the market, a temp withdrawal kind of thing, no show. So he was going to get it, prepared better. Then he never put it back on the market. Then started complaining that the house wasn't selling. I know the friend was behind all of this because the friend ended up getting him, as a client after the listing expired. But funny enough, he sold it for less money than had three offers for him for, but he wasn't going to take any less than what he wanted. Three offers. He ended up selling it for like 10 grand less. Be careful with your friends because yeah, I'd want a friend. I want a friend to call me up too. I do. But if you get another agent for some reason and they start giving you strange advice, there's a reason they're giving you strange advice. Hold on, let me see out here. Oh, someone came to you directly and asked and wanted to make an offer. Yeah, you're under contract. You should honor that contract. Tell your realtor, because technically, according to how the way the contracts are written in Nevada, there's kind of like a little loophole in there to prevent people from doing this, because people do this all the time. Like their neighbor says, "Oh my, I know your house is for sale. My son's moving into town. How long is your contract?" Because what I'm thinking is, once your uh, house is no longer under contracts expired, then we can do something. You don't have to pay any commission. It happens all the time, and it's usually in there that they have whatever time. You'll see it in the listing contract. It'll say whatever time, and then you'd still owe it because it's been exposed to the market during the time. Because ain't gonna lie, there are some people, especially for sell by owners, who love to pull that. They, I mean, I don't even know if they sometimes get that far. Some of them will go in, get a realtor, get them to get the advice they need to sell their house, what they need to get fixed, because you don't always need to get everything fixed. And then they'll have them come in and take professional pictures and everything, get it listed, get it exposed to the market, and then go like, "Oh, I don't want to sell." It happens a lot. It happens a lot. Matter of fact, I was in a forum and somebody was asking the questions like, "My seller, they've been demanding the pictures and they want the full version without the little watermark that I sent out with it. They want the ones without the watermark." And it's like, "Were they for sale by owner before?" It was like, "Yeah, yeah, they were just planning to screw you, get all your advice, get you to help them get the place ready to sell, get some professional photos." Because some parts of the country, you got to pay like 400 or 500 bucks for photos. They may have had drone photography and all this crazy stuff. Because remember, at one point, when drone photography became legal, I mean, people started charging like 400 or 500 bucks just for a few pictures. So, I mean, you're about 1,000 bucks right there. And the 360 photography, that's depending on the area. It's cheaper here. I know some parts of the country they're paying 800 bucks for 360, whereas you can do it here for 150. Drone photography is actually only about 69, 70 bucks here as part of a package. Getting your stuff ready in Las Vegas is much cheaper than most places that I've actually seen. Okay. If I don't have any other questions, let's get on back here. And I think we've covered that pretty much. So Inspirata, it's a master plan or an area, because I didn't see any master plan fees in here. Let me check a single family, see if they have master plan fees. There's no master plan. So they're building a whole bunch of stuff down in Inspirata. I really need to get into a video about it. But there's so much new stuff coming up. I can make videos all day long, because I was went and showed a house today. So like I said, 7 days a week for me. And of course I turned it into a video event. So hopefully this week you'll be seeing something. It's like the only guard gated neighborhood in that area. So it's out in not Winchester. Hold on here. Whitney. So I'm probably gonna do put some rest of it together, put Whitney video together and everything. Okay, let's see my next one. So that covers that. So we covered one more little neighborhood, and oh no, it expired, so I won't be doing that. I'm just gonna cover local news right now, just real quick, because I've gone past my time. I'm trying to respect your time and everything. Uh, those of you don't know, Las Vegas. As a matter of fact, I had this conversation today, which is interesting to go read in the news. Las Vegas has the fifth highest population of Mormons in the world. People don't realize that we actually have our own temple, and there are so many now. They're actually looking at building a second temple here in Las Vegas. Wow. Uh, Everybody's talking about the eclipse. They say you may be able to see a little something, something, but I'm not going to waste my time going to look at it. I wanted to put this one up there, and this is really what I wanted to highlight was this night market at Tivoli Village. I honestly don't go to these things. I need to, so I'm debating right now. So they have these, I think, once or twice a month. I think it's once a month, and they have the food trucks, the live music, shopping, and I'm thinking about going out there and then just like doing some neighborhood tours and stuff like earlier, and then ending up here because I need to do that along with first a month, first Friday or whatever it is they have down in the Arts District. I need to get more into that. Hold on, I've got a question. They do not have a 55 plus community, but nearby, let me bring this up here. But nearby to, or not too far from Inspirata, you've got Anthem here, so it's next door. So Anthem has 55 plus, and you have McDonald Ranch here. It's 55 plus. So this entire corridor going from Inspirata has 55 plus. You can even see it, Sun City Drive, Anthem. It's really big down there, and they've got actually some like a Solara, which is a more upgraded area. So probably not saying this much. So yeah, they do have all of that down there, but I mean not in Inspirata itself, but the neighboring to Anthem and McDonald Ranch are 55 or have 50 or no are 55 plus. So this is big, got the golf courses and everything. So yeah, that area does have 55 plus. And to end this, it's going to be a little video. Haven't done that before. No, what it is I'm getting ready for my this video I'm putting out, and strangely enough, I can't haven't put it out because I keep adding to it because I'm talking to somebody and it's like this needs to be added. It's just look the real deal with buying a house, because we got folks who are always doing the you've seen the videos. So I'm trying to be straightforward, everything you really need to know, because I tell people like you got to start with the lender no matter what. It's like that's a year out. If it's a year out and you're going to buy a house, you need to start with the lender right here and now. And I just thought about another thing I got to add. What I have to add is what happens if you have a lease on a place and you want to move or buy a house. It's like, according to what the local market is, they may want you out. I literally sold house. People say, "Oh, I got 6 months left on my lease." 45 days later, we're closing on a house, and what happens is that person's paying X, and the market rents are now Y, and it's like, "Yes, please leave, so I can charge more money." So that's one of the things you got to look at. So I got to add that. See, this helps. Now I'm delaying again. It's like there's one more thing. This video will probably be an hour long. All the stuff I have in there. But anyway, when I talk about starting with the lender, a lot of people, they hate working with lenders, but they love working with realtors. And a lender described it to me one time as going to Disneyland or the dentist. When you go to a realtor, you're in Disneyland. You're looking at houses. You're going around. That's why you have all these people who are like, "Oh, I just want to find what I want first, and then I'll talk to a lender." No. You got to talk to a lender first. Get that all straightened out. And even if you're going to buy a new home, which I'm putting in the video, you should still talk to a lender, because lenders know as soon as you go into a new build, you ain't ever using them. It's 90% you are going to use that builder. And the reason being is they got all the incentives. What was that Arby's commercials? We got the meats. Well, anyway, says when you're working with a lender, it's like going to the dentist, and that's why people don't want to do it. They're telling you to floss between your teeth and brush twice a day and all this stuff. Well, lenders going, how much money did you make? I need to see your W-2s. What were your taxes? I need to see your last 2 years. People don't like to do that stuff, so it's hard for them. But it's easy to go see a house. And so this is probably what I'm going to put as part of it. I'm just going to ask him to find a little 8-second snippet because I was thinking about this movie. I hadn't seen it in a minute. Little Shop of Horrors. And something like this.
It's in my power, I think someday you'll find a way to make your natural tendencies pay. You'll be a dentist. You have a talent for causing big pain. Son, be a dentist. People will pay.
I don't know. That's how sometimes people think when they go to the dentist. Because do you ever go to the dentist and other than having a clean mouth, feel good afterwards? That's what it's like being at a lender. You don't feel like you got a clean mouth when you're done, because some of them you got to watch them too, because they will try to sneak little stuff in. And this is like a story I'm gonna tell in the video that I'm gonna do. I had this guy. I'm not going to get into the long story, but the short story is he decided to use his buddy, who happened to be a lender. His buddy bent him over without the use of Vaseline. Now, if you see some of my videos, I advocate not paying certain things like these origination fees. They're bogus fees, but you know that's how they make, because lenders make a lot more money than people know about. Everybody in the entire chain makes a bunch of money. It's just they put their guns at the realtors because it's the only money that you see. But everybody's making money. This is an entire chain. This is like a huge portion of the economy. It feeds a lot of people. So anyway, not only the guy paid like I think it was like $7,000 that, in my opinion, he shouldn't have had to pay. They also said the type of loan required a termite inspection. Normally the seller pays that. Normally, the bank goes, well, we pay that. It was like, oh, okay, that's cool. But where he was at, they didn't have a contract with a, a termite company, so they had somebody sent out there, and they had to do a trip charge, which they charged to him. Ready for this? The trip charge was $400. And I'm just sitting there. Man, your buddy is just screwing so hard. So if you feel like you're being screwed hard, I know one individual here asked about getting an offer and not having issues with their realtor. Again, if you're having issues with your realtor, talk to their broker. Don't just go looking for another one unless they're being really incompetent, not calling you and not keeping you up what's going on. Because I've taken some listings from agents like that, and it was like, I remember this old lady. It was in Henderson, and it just worked out because we were doing some what we call bold, and it was in Henderson. So she lived out in Old Henderson, and she was like, in 6 months, my realtor never called. Matter of fact, the realtor never even came to pick up their sign off the yard. So in 6 months, she said the realtor never contacted them. And like when I had to fill out the paperwork and everything, I went through every piece of paper and showed them what it meant. It's like, my last realtor didn't do any of this. I was like, well, they should have. Whatever. So I said, you know what, to make you feel comfortable, especially since you don't have a computer, I'm going to come out every week on, I think it was Wednesday, and that's the day we had our bowl. So I would show up before that and then go to my bowl. And after she's like, you're actually like showing up. So yeah, I said I was going to do it, and I'll do everything in my power to do what I say I'm going to do. If you're looking for somebody who's going to do what they say they're going to do, this is the pitch. Call, text, email. My information is down below. It doesn't matter if you're looking 2 weeks from now, a year from now, you just want to talk about lenders or something and whatever. This is what I do to keep myself, I'm trying to say, I don't want to say entertained, to keep myself from being someone who just because you're retired and you got a pension and all this stuff, nice, good pension and all this jazz. Again, I'm not saying again, I haven't said this before. Just because I got a great pension doesn't mean that I'll do this for free. I do like to be compensated. But reach out to me, call, text, email. I'm glad to help. So I don't see any others. We had a couple of questions, actually 3 questions. Hope they're all answered. If you're playing on the looking at the replay, please leave some comments. And I now remember that I was supposed to look at my comments from yesterday. So yeah, just said, I mean, I thought I was gone and they pulled me back in. Hold on. Yeah, just saying they like the thing website. Oh, that's interesting. Somebody commented they're noticing. Oh, this is an old video too. They're noticing that a certain large brokerage. I don't want to mention anything because you're not supposed to say negative things about. That's one of the rules in the code of ethics, that they won't respond to anybody who sees a rental property. But as soon as you click on a house, uh, they're ready to take you in seconds. I had a video on that, and that's what that video was about. Actually, none of these. Well, hold on, wait a minute. Nope, none of these was really about it. And I have kept you guys too long. I need to go ahead and release you back to your day. And if so, I may need to update the rental one because it really is a big deal. Because a lot of because things are run differently here for some reason. And yeah, I'll just cover it real quick. In most states or most areas, I'll put it this way: you ever seen Seinfeld? I'm sure you have. Remember George Costanza? Well, first few seasons, his job, he was a real estate agent, and he handled, like most of the stuff there is rentals. Well, I see he had a good life. He wasn't starving, and you can make a good life in a lot of places. Like I think in New York, that's why you have to pay so much up front. It goes to the realtor. In DC area, you get like a month of rent. You know how much the rent is there. I think you even do the same thing in California, but here you're lucky to get $250 and you got to share that with your broker. So once agents figure this out, it's like, wait a minute, I'm making minimum wage. I'm not even making minimum wage because minimum wage is $16 an hour or whatever it is now. Why am I showing somebody rentals? I showed somebody a rental, or was going to show them a rental just like a month ago. And I looked at it, you know what they were offering out? $50. $50. You put as much work in helping somebody find a rental as you do helping them buy a house. $50, more money. I'm not going to say a number. More money. And the only people you have really helping with rentals are new agents. I mean, I was at a awards banquet last month. I think last month. I sitting next to her. She was talking about because agents won't even help their relatives, their family, if they're coming to Vegas or live in Vegas and they'll look for somebody else. They'll look for a new agent because they know their time is more valuable. And it's really a problem. And it really hurts a lot of people because most rentals are on the MLS and you need to work with a realtor, kind of. You really don't. If you're lucky, you can just reach out. And the leasing agents, they don't want you to reach out to them. They love to just pay out that $250, $300 because if they didn't, they wouldn't be able to keep their prices low. Okay, can you imagine? As a matter of fact, that's a good one. That's one of, I mean, it is what it is. I'm taking you too long for this. Call, text, email if you need me. If you haven't subscribed, I'd appreciate it. I'm going to see you guys tomorrow. I'm on day 7. That means 23 days left. And then I've completed something. Now, if I could just work out hard every day for 30 days, I'd be a better person. See y'all.